Good morning, Lisa here, coming at you from my car. I'm so glad it's Friday. It has been a very long week. Anyway, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's 31 days of witchcraft prompt. I don't know about y'all. It has been a very long week. It has been a very long week, but it is beautiful today. As you can see, the sun is shining. I love my sunroof thingy. It's my favorite thing about this car. But anyway, what is today's prompt? Let me think. Oh yeah. Do you call yourself a witch? And what was the other piece? Oh yeah, and what does the word witch mean to you? If you do call yourself a witch. I do call myself a witch. Witch to me is a word of power. For me, this path in so many ways, both spiritually and when it comes to my craft, represents sovereignty and personal power and the ability to craft your own future. I also feel like it's about responsibility. Whereas I feel like a lot of, and this is not meant to be a judgment on other faiths, this is more a commentary on my personal experience with those paths. But a lot of other like religious paths, as an example, and again, I understand that I'm gonna be mixing up my stuff here because yes, witchcraft is secular to me as the practice, but the path and the practice to me are very much intertwined. So there's that. Anyway, and I'm talking about kind of both my spiritual practice as well as my craft. But with that said, I feel like a lot of other faith-based religions and things like that, I feel like a lot of them are designed to give us peace of mind and sometimes absolve us of some responsibility. One of the things that drew me to paganism in the first place is my belief that we are responsible for ourselves, for how we move through the world. And I think any religion has the opportunity or has the capacity to give you that sense of responsibility. But I just don't think it's as common as I found it within paganism, and specifically when we're talking about my craft and the idea that the buck stops here. That's what being a witch means to me. If I mess up, I need to put it right. If I want to grow and develop, if I want to manifest a dream, then I need to put in the legwork and the elbow grease to get there. If I want to be healthy from a mental emotional standpoint, I need to put in the shadow work. I need to look at the tough stuff. I need to sit with the mirror of me and look at the things that I don't want to look at. And I have to make difficult decisions and I need to put myself first. And I think that my craft holds me to that higher standard in a way. It gives me the tools by which I can, or with which I can carve out the life that I want to live and move through the world in a way that is empowering and authentic and in alignment with my core values. Witchcraft specifically gives me that. It gives me that. And so when I call myself a witch, what I'm really saying is I am responsible. The buck stops here. I'm going to be in charge of my life. And I was thinking about that a little bit on the way here and what that's meant and the sacrifices it's involved. And in so many ways, my life would have been much, much easier without the craft. In so many ways, my life would have been smoother without the craft. And in so many ways, I feel like my life would have been calmer in general without the craft. Because within this practice and within this belief that I am responsible and that the buck stops here is the realization that if I want my life to change, I need to change it. It's the realization that if I want people to honor my boundaries, I need to have boundaries. I need to stand by them. If I want to have connections that feel balanced, then I need to take charge of what I need for me. And so, interestingly, my self-worth path and witchcraft, they're so intertwined, because witchcraft in a way gave me some language for personal power, for what that meant, for what that looked like. It gave me a representation of what it meant to carve out and craft my own way, to find my own way. So it's a compass a little, and it's also, I keep picturing, as I'm talking, I keep picturing like energy. And when you direct that energy, like when I picture energy, like directing out of a tool or out of my hand toward a purpose, whether that purpose is casting a circle or sending out healing or whatever kind of protection, whatever kind of magic I might be working, when I picture that energy is like a fiery, like a blue fire. And when I think of that blue fire and I think of where it comes from, it's like there's a source of power within me. And so at the very minimum, my craft connects me to my inner source of power. It allows me to pull up those reserves and do what I've got to do. I've turned to the craft when I've needed to make huge shifts in my life. I've used the craft to empower myself, to hold intention and to hold space for myself and my experience, for my goals, for my fears, for the things that I need to address. So craft for me is not just sitting idly by and letting my life happen to me or being a victim. For me, witchcraft and the craft in general is about being in my power. And so as a witch, I stand in my power. I connect to my power, and I'm unafraid to wield my power. And I think that those are very, very important things for me in my life. So witch is a word of power to me. It's interesting too, because for a long time I didn't want to use the word. It made me uncomfortable. My first, like when I was like a little baby witch, like I've talked about being kind of fluffy and stuff, I didn't want to use that word because it felt too intense. And interestingly enough, that was the same point in my life when I didn't want to stand in my power in any way, shape, or form. I was very much the victim of my life. I was very much not in a place to even look at the tough things. And now I'm in a place where not only have I looked at the tough things and done what I could to heal in those areas of my life, but I've also learned that sometimes my needs have to come before other people's wants. And I've learned that I am allowed to feel safe, even if what I need to feel safe doesn't fit with someone else's agenda. And I've learned that I am allowed to feel light and free. And sometimes that means that I don't get to be, or don't choose to be, what other people want me to be. And so witch is a word of power, I think, is what it boils down to for me. It's a word of power. And so claiming it in a unashamed, unembarrassed kind of way has been very powerful in my life and in my practice. And yeah, okay. I've rambled on enough. I think my feelings on this are fairly clear. So I'm going to wrap it up and get the rest of my day started. I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful morning or evening or night whenever you're watching this. And I've been really enjoying these. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I know I keep saying that because I'm very non-committal at this point, but I'm really enjoying this. So maybe I'll have to incorporate some kind of like weekly vlog or something into my channel repertoire. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for holding space for the conversation. If you are participating in 31 Days of Witchcraft, I would love to hear about it. If you have thoughts on being a witch, not being a witch, how you identify yourself, I'd love to see that in the comments below. And if you make a video, definitely let me know. I've got a bunch sitting in my playlist that I'm behind on that I really want to watch. So we'll see. I might be able to get through some today. I'm going to be doing some really repetitive counting inventory kind of work at work. So I might be able to play some YouTube. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What else was I going to say? I should close this out. So anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe. I have the link to Heather Carter's original video down below. Please go subscribe to Heather. She is absolutely wonderful. I love the way her brain works, and I love it when she goes on her channel and does these kinds of talks and rambles. And so I'm really enjoying participating. So yeah, subscribe here too if you're new. And remember, if you want to book a reading, you can do that over at supportivetarot.com. I have self-worth readings, I have trajectory readings, love readings, all that good stuff. I even have a deep dive, like past life kind of read. And yeah, so if you're interested in a tarot reading, head on over to supportivetarot.com, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.